personal stylist, and I'm a personal stylist for pageant contestants and women executives, helping them to capture the stage for their shining stage moments. And in today's episode, I will be covering my favorite looks from the Miss Universe 2025 opening ceremony, and these looks are in no particular order. Everything about this show just said high fashion, couture, and elegant, and the lighting was great, and that combined with the backdrop, stunning, and really complemented just about every contestant's gown very well. And it was extremely hard because of all those factors to pick not just one particular gown, but to narrow it down to the number of gowns that I narrowed it down to. It was super tough, but I managed to do it. And hopefully if you're a pageant contestant, you can draw advice from the gowns that I feature and the overall looks in order to help you stand out at your next pageant. Or even if you're not a pageant contestant, if you're a woman executive or you have an important event coming up where you may be on stage, you'll learn tips that will really help you to shine on stage through what you wear and how you present yourself. So without further ado, here is the list. First up is Argentina. The crystal embellishment on her gown captured the light very dynamically. And I love how her sleeves had the 3D detail that really made them pop and stand out. And she just really radiated beautifully on stage. And she was the full package as well, with her hair, with the soft waves, the natural makeup that also really stood out on stage, and the crystal earrings that perfectly complemented the crystal embellished gown that she had on. Botswana. She also had beautiful micro crystal embellishment all throughout her gown, and it was a beautiful high neckline that really looked regal, and it was also embellished with the crystals. And I really like the contrast of the two metallics, the gold sequins as well as the silver crystal beading. They really harmonized well with her skin tone. And this dress was very figure flattering, as it looked like it was fitted and it cinched her at the waist and had that cutout detail. Overall, great gown choice and great styling. Cambodia. Her gown, as soon as she stepped out on stage, was giving self-evolution and confidence, given the butterfly theme that she had going on. To me, when I see butterfly, it means transformation, coming out of something that looked ugly, but in the end, you survived and you turned out beautifully. And that, I think, perfectly describes her story, as I know she had some challenges leading up to the Miss Universe pageant. And thus far, her wardrobe has been on point. And I literally like the ombre effect that she had going on with the yellow and the accents of blue. And the crystal embellishment all over the gown really radiated beautifully on stage and made her look very eye-catching. Guinea. The color harmonized very well with her rich skin tone, and it looked like the gown was made up of hand-sewn beading, and the color, like I said, excellent on her. It was a shade of gold, and the hair and makeup really complemented the overall look very well. So to me, when she stepped out on stage, it was definitely giving power, given the very vibrant shade of red that she had on. When I see red, I think power and high energy. And the ombre effect on the bottom made the gown stand out even more. It was red on top, and then I believe it was like white or silver on the bottom, and then she had the train that matched, and the crystal embellishment all throughout the gown really radiated the light dynamically. And it was also a very figure flattering gown, as it cinched her at the waist and followed her body's natural curves, which is very important if you're going to wear a fitted gown like this, making sure that and I also liked how the gown was very figure flattering as it cinched her at the waist and it followed her body's natural curves. And really it gave her an hourglass figure given the embellishment at the shoulders, the cinched in waist, and then it flowed at the hips. So that's a trick if you want to come across that you have the hourglass figure, is making sure that the silhouette of the gown is conducive to that. Like if you tend to be smaller at the top, then the embellishment like what she had at the top would work to really play up that area so that way proportionate with the hips, and making sure that it's cinched in at the waist. Yeah, this was another gown that screamed high fashion, high couture, especially with the way the gown was made and the crystals on it. It gave me a Swarovski crystal feel, and the light pastel color of this gown really enhanced her skin tone well, given that she has more of a tan skin tone, and the high slit kept it modern and red carpet ready. So Nigeria's gown is pure artistry. The intricate beadwork created a very stunning ombre effect that moves from the deep blue to the green. It felt like the colors of the ocean that were coming to life on stage. And the sculpted looks like wings up at the top of the gown. On the neckline, it looked like it, to me, when I see that, it symbolized transformation and elegance. And while the metallic gold wings frame her shoulders beautifully, I love how the structured bodice transforms into the sleek silhouette. And that front slit adds just the right amount of modern edge. It was an overall regal look. This was a very dramatic look, and it was very statement making with all of the big, bold beading that was up at the top of the gown. And the mermaid effect of the gown not only enhanced her figure, but it allowed her to walk freely while she was on stage. And it also worked well. This gown worked well with her skin tone, given the color. And it kind of looked like a gown that had cultural nods to it, representing her Palestinian culture. So great job. Singapore's gown, total showstopper. The mix of textures and tones immediately commands attention. The gold beading catches the light beautifully, and while the bold red satin adds an element of power and drama, the asymmetrical bow detail gives the silhouette a sculptural couture feel, and the high slit keeps it modern and red carpet ready. I love how this design blends elegance and strength. It feels like a perfect balance between regal and Romania. She really captured the light beautifully with this dramatic and regal look. The crystal beading, there was contrast in colors that worked very well to make this a standout look. And there were also contrasts in textures with the heavily beaded gown up against the light feather opera coat. It really made this a standout look. And I like how she went with an updo, since this was a high neck gown, to bring the attention to the neckline. USA, she shined bright like a diamond on stage. And the contrasts and textures with the sequins and the beading and the light flowy cape really worked in her favor and gave her excellent stage presence. And the feathers at the top of the dress really made this a standout and head-turning look. And she accessorized it very well with the statement necklace and the cuff earrings, and the updo helped to really complement everything that she had going on at the top very well. And she was another one that really radiated beautifully when she was on stage, given the color and the texture of the gown. And her dress had a waterfall effect. It was a beautiful, vibrant blue, and it had hints of silver, and it looked like the crystals were cascading down, giving it that waterfall effect. And she kept the accessories very small and understated, but they still made just the right amount of impact to really enhance this look. And I loved the soft waves that she had going on, and the makeup looked flawless. Venezuela. This was an example of a simple yet elegant look that made a big statement while it was on stage. And when you're going for a simple yet elegant look, it's very important to choose vibrant fabrics like the one you see here, as well as very simple details like the floral detail that she has up at the top and the statement necklace that she has on that really worked to enhance the gown. And I really love the hair. It was giving me old Hollywood vibes. And it just goes to show you that, as I said before, you don't always necessarily have to be the most embellished to really stand out on stage. Then, a very beautiful cool tone blue shade that she had on that really went well and harmonized with her deeper, richer skin tone. And I love the updo with this, given that she had on a high neck, and the cape was embellished with pearls, and the embellishment throughout the gown was absolutely stunning as well. Puerto Rico. This was a multicolored microcrystal embellished gown, and it looked like it was changing colors when it was on stage. One moment it looked silver, the next it looked purple, but it worked very well, and she radiated beautifully on stage, and the gown flowed as she moved. And I like the accessories, the really big statement earrings that enhanced and really brought out the gown. Very stunning look. Cuba, another beautiful micro crystal embellished gown, and the crystals radiated absolutely gorgeously on stage. It was the first thing that caught my eye, and I really liked the brown accents, the brown ruffles on the one shoulder, and then the matching brown train at the back really enhanced this look. And I love the contrast and textures and colors. You had the bright metallic silver gown mixed with the brown on the one sleeve and the brown train, and the train looked like it was made of silk. The contrast really worked in her favor. Turks and Caicos. This was giving high fashion vibes mixed with cultural relevance. The draping gave off very regal queen vibes, and the gold lace was a nice enhancement that really popped and meshed well with the white. Cabo Verde. This was a stunning golden look that really made her look like a queen with the cape, and it looked like it had hand embellished beads all throughout, which really shine beautifully on stage. I do feel as if though she probably could have went with an even brighter shade of gold that really would have made her stand out even more on stage, and it really would have harmonized well with her skin tone even better had she went with a brighter shade. But either way, it was still a gorgeous look, and I liked how she had her hair straight, and the long chandelier earrings were a nice added touch. Bulgaria. There were a lot of different textures going on here, which really worked, and that's very important, that you not be afraid to experiment with mixing and matching different textures and colors, and in her case, textures. That's really going to give you an edge when you're on stage. And in her case, she had the microcrystal embellished gown that had the silver crystals embellished all throughout the gown, and then the cape that was attached to the gown was sheer, and then it was lined with feathers. The contrast really made the gown pop, and she really radiated beautifully when she was on stage. And I like that she had her hair up, so that way all the attention was on, especially since she had a high neckline on, it gave all the attention to the gown, and she looked absolutely stunning. So, who is your favorite look from the Miss Universe 2025 opening ceremony? Let me know in the comments. And if you are a pageant contestant and you find yourself in a situation where you really need help with standing out, or you may not have the time to dedicate to your wardrobe like you should, then please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will put my website, the link to my website, in the description. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.